Hey, right, so I've brought my peppers in and just bear with me. You'll find this probably quite interesting and helpful. Um, and in with the peppers that I brought indoors ready to save for next year, there's these little black flies, right? And they do impede the growth and the health of these pepper plants. So I undo one of these, sometimes a couple, and I'll spread them across the plant pots and they all land on it, they're all attracted to it, and it wipes them all out. So there's one thing. Now, I when I grew up in an area that was quite poor, but all of the British people that lived in this area of Nottingham were still quite house proud. We had a front room that was the best room, just there for guests. We weren't allowed in there. There was a lot of pride in our house, even though we didn't have much money, and nearly all of our neighbours were the same. And it gradually became more and more multicultural. And the more multicultural that area became, the more of a shit tip it became. And then when I was about 16, I was a knocker. So I used to go travel all over the country 5 days a week, selling stuff door to door. And every single heavily multicultural pocket of cities and towns and stuff that I went to were shit tips. Just an observation, an accurate, honest observation that I made over the years. They turn into shit tips. Now, when I was a really, really young lad, I experienced a bin man strike. I can't remember it that well, but I remember it stinking. Everywhere stank. Swarms of flies in the house. Just swarms. Couldn't get rid of them. We had fly paper all over, hanging all over the place. And because it became quite multicultural, there were certain cultural stuff, practices, and I can remember seeing goats' heads in the streets next to bin bags in the bins, back when we had metal bins and bin men actually earned their wage instead of a truck doing all the work for them. Maggot infested goats' heads and stuff like that. Yeah, it was disgusting. But that was horrible. There were rats everywhere, mice everywhere. It was horrible. And that could happen again. You know, the more shit that they throw at us, they'll add another layer of stress on top of that and another layer of stress on top of that. We all know this, you know. I don't need to preach this to you. You know this is all happening. So I think fly paper is a really, really inexpensive way of trying to keep the amount of flies in your house at bay. Just so it'll just be one extra layer of stress that's not in your house. And then mouse traps and rat traps. Now, another good thing about mouse traps and rat traps, we all know the government don't like us. They see us as, you know, irrelevant. Do away with us. Reduce the population. So imagine what they think about our pets. Well, we know what they think about our pets. They've made hints over the last 3 years. They call them pets. I call them family. So rats and mice, further down the line, if it comes to it, if you've got traps, that's fresh organic meat for your dogs. And if your dogs are hungry enough, they will eat rats and mice. You know, cats do. So yeah, dual purpose, keeping flies out of your house for next to nothing. You know, they're so cheap. and they just keep as well, as long as they're kept in the position that they're in now, they don't lose the stickiness. So they'll keep for years and years. Mouse traps, especially the traditional ones, cheap as chips. Rat traps, obviously a bit bigger, a bit more expensive. But these can control pests on your plants, indoor plants as well. Just until you've got rid of the problem, then get rid of the flypaper. So it was just a quick video, really, just pointing out a few things that you might find interesting. That could be potential food for your dogs and your cats. Cats love fresh mice, love it. They love them. So that's all for now. Everything's gone back to normal with my YouTube account. I'm not saying that the canal project is the whole reason why all of this is happening. It's just something to think about. It's just a possibility and could be part of it. And more people are talking about it now. Brighton being one of them, and a few others if you start digging. So much love. Ciao for now.